Hi everyone, I am Anonymous Traveler. Today, I am going to talk about a subject of spiritual trigger and boiling point and a method to stimulate the third eye. To complete the great work of spiritual alchemy, one must go through various spiritual breakthroughs. And when it comes to spiritual breakthrough, there are two components. To achieve a breakthrough in the spiritual alchemy, one's inner spiritual ecosystem should reach a boiling point, just like when you boil some water for cooking, and also there should be a trigger to make that breakthrough happen. Generally speaking, spiritual breakthrough happens when you have already reached a boiling point in your spiritual ecosystem and stimulated by a trigger for that particular spiritual event. In terms of reaching a spiritual boiling point, the key to achieve that is discipline. And in terms of successfully pulling a trigger, the key is wise and proper stimulation. Boiling point can be described as a point when one's spiritual ecosystem is fully ripened and ready for a certain spiritual event. And in order to reach that boiling point, one must be consistent. So, discipline becomes the key for this task of reaching a boiling point. By the way, any skills that is worth having requires a hard work. According to Dr. Anders Ericsson, it takes 10,000 hours of deliberate practice to become an expert in almost anything. Of course, this 10,000 hours is not a fixed number. Each person has a different talent, so necessary hours to master something differs greatly per each person. However, I mentioned this to stress the fact that any achievement requires hard work. Various spiritual traditions use their own method of discipline to guide their student. Some of their disciplines are designed for practicality, and some of them are designed to create their own unique flavor and culture. This process of boiling water requires a well-made lifestyle structure based on solid discipline. I have to stress this because I have used the term deviation a lot in my previous lectures. In a way, reaching a spiritual breakthrough is like a successful combination of living a strictly disciplined lifestyle and pulling a deviation trigger that goes against normal pathways of our communal reality. When one hears the word deviation, he or she might get some wrong idea because many people relate that word to sexual hedonism, recreational drug use, and such. Those things are not true deviation. Let me explain further. For example, popular idea about the word deviation is sexual hedonism. Pushing oneself to the extremes of a sexual pleasure are highly cherished among blind people of this world. However, is there something really new or innovative or revolutionary about sex? The answer is no. No matter how hard you pursue the sexual pleasure with wide variety of sexual act, basic principle is always the same. First, you feel the sensual lust. Then, you give in to sensual lust. Then, you get a very brief sensation of relief and satisfaction. Then, immediately after that moment of satisfaction, you become hungry again for sensual lust and start your desperate attempt to get that ultimate satisfaction that seems to be always slipping through your fingers whenever you try to catch them. This basic principle is just the same no matter how hard you pursue the direction of such pleasures. So, sexual hedonism is not a deviation from communal reality, but more like a standard human behavior in this communal reality. True deviation is something that fundamentally goes against the nature of this communal reality. It is truly a different way to experiment and experience this world. When it comes to deviation, some people realized that they need some kind of a deviation in order to make a spiritual breakthrough. However, many have failed miserably because of the principle that I just explained. They got confused about true deviation and false deviation. So, choosing a wise trigger or wise deviation is a key for a successful spiritual breakthrough. And in order to boil a spiritual water to reach a boiling point, one needs a structured lifestyle based on discipline. Then, what is a structured lifestyle based on discipline? It is a lifestyle focused on spiritual development while maintaining the practicality and functionality in this world. To function practically in this world while pursuing spirituality is not easy. Therefore, some people become a monk or a nun or a hermit, and that is a wonderful thing. But if you stay in the society instead of going into a mountain or a cave, then you need to build your own lifestyle in this world that is proper for a spiritual seeker. The key of such disciplined lifestyle is its structure should be focused on spiritual development and maintaining functionality in this world at the same time. And it should ignore our inner monkey mind and its endless hunger and yearning. Our inner monkey mind is only good for drunkenness, hedonism, and mindless time-wasting activities. So, we need to ignore our inner monkey mind's desire and stick to the functionality both for spiritual practice and our non-spiritual life. Our inner monkey mind is what drives us to indulge in this communal reality. Our inner monkey mind hates structure and discipline. It likes to jump all over the places and tries to grab whatever object that draws his attention. But with this structured lifestyle based on discipline, you are practically taking away the power from your own inner monkey mind. And by sticking to this structured lifestyle based on discipline, you can weaken the power of communal gravity over you. What strengthens communal gravity is our own clinging. When we have strong attachment, the power of communal gravity becomes stronger because the very concept of attachment means we are longing for the relationship with our desired object. Our relationship or interaction with the object of our desire is like a ball and chain that tie us to the communal reality. So, in the grand scheme of things, our strong clinging and desire do not bring happiness but only bring stress and uneasiness. And if you are a bird and live in a cage made of gold, they might look fancy and elegant, but that doesn't change the fact that you are in a cage. Same thing can be said about our attachment. Even if the desired object is wonderful and fancy, it is still a ball and chain that bind you to this world of communal reality. And when you live a structured lifestyle based on solid discipline, you are minimizing the power of a communal reality over you because you are taking away the power of the ball and chain that bind you to the communal reality. So, with this structured lifestyle of discipline, you are boiling the water of a spiritual ecosystem. Every detailed action of discipline and lifestyle choices increase the temperature of the water little by little. You need to stick to it because if you stop boiling water, then later you have to boil it all over again. That's a terrible waste of time. Also, there are many things that can be used as a trigger. Even a common object such as a tarot card can be used as a trigger. And it can be a mantra or an alchemical symbol or a painting and etc. etc. And today I will use our perceptionary deviation as a trigger. I already explained that when I say deviation, it is very different than what most people think when it comes to the word deviation. For me, deviation is a unique energy processing mechanism that goes against the structure of communal reality. And my approach to the great work or spiritual alchemy is to remove all the religious and the non-essential elements from the mechanism of spiritual alchemy. So today, I will share a trigger that can be used to stimulate the third eye. Throughout history, many spiritual seekers tried to stimulate the third eyes in order to open it up. There have been various approaches for this, and I will share my own approach for this. As I previously explained in my video, this world is only real because its resident or inhabitant are sharing communal reality. In its essence, this world we live in is empty. Any object we see, touch, and feel is nothing but a culmination of a rapid electric movement occupying its space with its own vibrational range. So in its essence, there is no substance to what we call things. And not just object, but this entire world has no real substance. However, since we are hypnotized and share communal reality with all the other inhabitants, we experience this world as real. So that creates communal gravity. If one does not experience something as real, then there will be no gravity toward that something. And when you take this world as a real world and stop asking questions, this world exercises even stronger power over you, and that is the nature of our communal reality. In a way, our mind is like a circuit board in a computer. Our mind functions and flows in a specific manner that does not clash with the communal reality because certain pathways for electric signal is printed on this circuit board. One of the most immovable pattern printed on this circuit board is the way our perception work. And the third eye is something of a deviation from these communal pathways. The third eye is located around the middle of the forehead. The third eye stays inactive because we don't need it to live in a communal reality. And normally, we don't have any stimulus for the third eye. So, I am sharing a technique to stimulate the third eye. Like I said, our mind is like a circuit board in a computer. Our mind functions in a specific manner that does not clash with the communal reality. For example, when we experience an object, we see with our eyes and hear with our ears. However, that is how we are wired normally, but that does not mean that is the only way the information signal can move through our mind. Actually, we can use different pathways as well, based on our will and intention. In other words, you can see the sound instead of hear the sound, and hear the color instead of see the color. So this kind of deviation from pre-programmed pathway on the circuit board in our mind can be used to stimulate our third eye. So, For this practice, first play something in the background. You can play music or lecture or audiobook or whatever based on your preference. Now, while background sound is playing, close your eyes. Let your mind be tuned with vibration of the sound. Then focus on your third eye area and connect it to the vibration. Then try to see the sound instead of hear the sound. At first, the sound appears to be vibrational pattern spreading in a variety of unique shape. However, when you become proficient in this practice, you will notice there are various colors involved as well. And after a while, you will notice some tingling sensation in your third eye area. That's a signpost that the stimulation to your third eye has been successfully applied. However, third eye cannot be opened with a couple of stimulation sessions. It takes a long and disciplined practice to open the third eye. So, for those who are interested in waking up the third eye, you might want to use this technique as a part of a spiritual exercise routine. And remember that any exercise requires consistency and discipline. Even if you want to build some muscle, you need to lift weight and eat enough protein for a considerable amount of time. Any type of spiritual practice, exercise, meditation, and etc. takes a significant time to master it, and usually it takes longer than physical exercise. Thanks for listening, and all the best.